Aloha, it's Tutu Sainz, author of the book Our Path to Infinite Abundance, Introduction to Food Forests. And today I'm going to read to you the first chapter of the book. So that'll be fun. And I want to let you know that I'm praying for the whole world. And I think angels are here with me, and I believe they're here with you, and they're watching over us all. And behind me you can see the big beautiful old oak tree. So I thought that would be fun for you. And then I'm going to practice reading out loud because it's been a while. So chapter 1, welcome to your path to infinite abundance. Nature is infinitely abundant and expanding. Our path to infinite abundance is in learning to model Mother Earth's food forests when we grow our food. Learn to garden by imitating nature's ancient ways. Forget about fertilizers, insecticides, fungicides, and tilling by the sweat of your brow. By growing a forest of nut and fruit trees among layers of veggies, herbs, berries, and edible roots that provide healing food, you will harvest a continuous abundance of healthy food that nourishes your body into well-being and brings our planet and her wild creatures back from the brink of disaster. On this path, you will discover how the plant and animal kingdoms in a food forest continually grow and expand in mathematically perfect patterns, freely growing food and supplies for us and the wildlife. Smart investing. A forest has the best return on investment. Planting a food forest turns out to be a fabulous investment. The return on investment received approaches infinity over time. I capitalize the word infinity in here because what other investment approaches infinity? Nature grows in patterns that expand infinitely, as in the fractal patterns in tree branches, in the designs of leaves, flowers, and roots, and the life force potential of seeds. I've spent the last 7 years observing and enjoying nature in action as I tend my food forest. I've actually been here 10 years now, almost 10 years. Originally, I simply hoped to enjoy the juicy fruits, the tasty nuts and seeds, the lovely fragrances, and the healthy herbs. That is fabulous abundance right there, but that was only the beginning of the wealth I discovered. The plants in the food forest also reproduce themselves exponentially, so the abundance expands exponentially. The branch of mathematics called calculus deals with exponential increases where numbers get bigger fast and approach infinity. This best describes the kind of math I see in the food forest every day. In this image, check out the orange number line climbing rapidly and approaching infinity. See, it doesn't just gain a little bit over time. No, it starts going whoo, and it keeps going. This graphic image of numbers getting larger and larger and approaching infinity from Socratic.org. Okay. Take a sip of water. Seeds, which grow in great abundance in the food forest, are the best example of exponential growth. Here's one example of this phenomenon. A romaine lettuce plant that grew from one single seed. Here's this picture. You see that? It's like puffy little flowers all over this little plant. This is a lettuce plant at the end of probably 6 months or so. Has a lot of seeds on it because inside of each of these flowers are 10 or 20 seeds. But I'm going to go ahead and show you, or I'm going to read to you about this, okay? Here's one example of this phenomenon, a romaine lettuce plant that grew from one single seed. As it matured, we enjoyed eating the leaves of the young plant. After a few months, the plant began putting energy into producing seeds. So the foliage yellowed, and these fluffy white flowers appeared. Inside of each flower is about 10 or 20 seeds. Yes, I counted several of them. Ironically, I've been an accountant for over 30 years, and it strikes me funny that a nickname for accountants is bean counters. I guess I really was a bean counter that day. I picked off most of the flowers and seeds to plant elsewhere in the food forest. And a couple of days later, a new batch of flowers grew back to replace the ones I picked. I took this picture of the second round of flowers that have replaced the first. So one seed, okay, so here's some math for you people who like math. One seed can grow into thousands of seeds of its kind in as short as 3 to 6 months. Now let's do the math on the return on investment you get from a well-planted seed. Let's say, as in the picture above, that you invested one lettuce seed by planting the seed in the ground and letting it grow for a few months. Then you harvested 1,000 seeds that grew from that lettuce plant, so you ended up with 1,000 seeds. Here's the simple return on investment formula. Return on investment, ROI, equals the gain from the investment minus the cost of investment, divided the difference between those, the gain minus the cost over the cost, okay? So our gain was, let's turn the page and see. If you get a return of 1,000 seeds from growing one seed, then you get 999 more seeds. So the gain was 1,000 seeds gained minus 1 seed invested equals 999 seeds gained. 999 seeds divided by 1 seed cost of investment equals 999% return on investment. Divide the 999 seeds you got by the 1 seed you put in, and there's your ROI percentage. So that's a 999% return on investment for growing a seed in under 6 months. Okay? Compare that to the stock market, where you can expect to average 8% return on investment per year. That's if you're lucky and you keep your money invested in the stock market for 30 years. There's also the possibility that you might lose some or all of your money. Imagine how many seeds you might have after a few years of planting seeds. You could plant 1,000 lettuce seeds, and if most of those grow, then you end up with 1,000,000 seeds. Are you getting the idea that nature expands infinitely using seeds? It is remarkable and surprising that hardly anyone talks about it. Okay, so here's a picture of cilantro seeds from our naturalized cilantro plants. They reseed and grow wild in the food forest. That's what naturalized means. They do it by themselves. And sometimes, like, I will gather up seeds and then I can throw out more seeds where I want more cilantro to grow. But sometimes they just do it by themselves too. So let's say you plant a tree instead of a seed. You will receive fruit and seeds from that tree for decades. We're grateful to have several fruit trees that are over 40 years old and are still producing fruit. Imagine someone else planted them years ago, and we continue to enjoy the fruits of their small investment of digging a hole, planting a tree, and nurturing it to maturity. It's wonderful. So trees are really, to me, the best investment of all because they last for decades. And even after you're gone, they'll still be giving fruits and nuts to other people. But anyway, that's not part of the book. Okay, I'm talking. Here I go. I'm back onto the book. This macadamia tree is around 20 years old and still gives delicious nuts. Plant a fruit or nut tree, get fruit or nuts for generations. Another example of nature's expansion is multiplication through roots. For example, bananas expand their roots into the soil and pop up new banana plants. This growth isn't exponential like seed growth, but expands fractally or multiplies with repeated additions of new banana shoots, popping up in a widening area around the original banana plant. New banana trees grow from the roots of existing banana trees, and then baby banana trees grow from the roots of those bananas, and then baby bananas grow from their roots. It's bananas! There's no doubt that a food forest produces a fabulous abundance of good food for people. Everyone talks about eating healthier food, and this is a simple, direct way to get healthy food. The food forest also produces a healthy habitat full of good food for many animals. The wild animals feed on plants and on each other, and by doing so, they create a stable ecosystem. We have seen coyotes, rabbits, squirrels, gophers, lizards, birds, worms, crawling insects, flying insects, spiders, possums, raccoons, mice, rats, snakes, skunks, and cats. They go about their business doing what they were born to do. We welcome them all and feel glad that these creatures enjoy life here in the food forest too. Forest gardens work in harmony with planet Earth's natural processes. If you want to see real abundance, look to a food forest rather than an interest-earning financial account. I give you this food for thought. There is more than enough food for us because everything growing expands. Whew, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I hope you did too. I'm going to take a break, but I will come back and read a couple more chapters in another video. Okay? Aloha!